check it out, son. Check it out. Now, growth and clarity, man. Okay, now if you guys been watching Meek Mill on this round of interviews that he's been doing, it's the first time he's really opening up in about 2 years, all right? His album, Wins and Losses, is out, and he doesn't touch on everything on the album, or doesn't touch on it in depth, but in these interviews, he's definitely open. For example, if you listen to the album, you'll definitely hear him touch on the losses he feels he's got in life. Like, for example, him going back to jail a couple of times. Of course, him losing out on certain opportunities. Of course, family members passing away, niggas switching sides on him, especially in his inner circle. He speaks about his friends and family losing their people around him and a lot of death. Okay, he's speaking on a lot of real life shit. And to him, that's the losses when he thinks about life. Now, of course, a lot of people associate losses and wins with Meek in music, right? People keep bringing up the Drake versus Meek beef. Now, he didn't really go too much into that in the album, but of course, during the interview rounds, he's speaking on it. Now, he got to Angie Martinez, and he was pretty candid in talking about the beef. And when he was asked, okay, do you think it's a win or a loss, your beef with Drake? It's the first time he's ever given a direct answer. And I'm going to read the quote here. It was kind of a long quote, kind of dragged on, but this is exactly what he said on Angie Martinez's show. He says, I would take it as a loss. I didn't come out on top. I didn't take it as a win or a loss because what I said, I didn't say it as a competition. What I stated a fact. I think I went about it the wrong way. The way I handled it. A lot of situations in the last 2 years I handled myself was a little out of control. I would say I took a loss on how I handled the whole situation, period. The way I introduced it, the way I went about it, the way I came at him about it, the way I handled myself, my character, that wasn't me. Running the streets, getting high, offended anybody in my path. If you made me feel any type of way a little bit, ain't no telling how I was going to react at that time. I was taking perks and doing lean at that time. That was never my thing. We hustlers. Always been a hustler. From my era, if you doing pills and sipping lean, you a lame. The max we do is weed. It would stimulate your mind. Now, he basically is admitting that, I was kind of on drugs around that time, man, and I didn't know how to handle certain situations, so I went about everything wrong. Now, if you remember the circumstances around him calling out Drake, remember, he thought Drake was talking about his girl, also Drake didn't show up to his concert, so rather than making that phone call to Drake, a guy who he's collaborated with frequently in the past, he said, fuck this shit. Now that I know you don't write, I'm going to put it on blast. Of course, if he could have a second chance to go back, maybe don't do that in that type of manner. Maybe they handle it privately. And he's admitting and owning up to it by saying, listen, and you got to imagine, he's not going to say he took the L rapping-wise or telling people the truth. But of course, he's just going to say, all right, I fumbled the ball. I handled it wrong. Okay? And I think this is a very grown-up thing for Meek to do. A very grown-up thing. I didn't expect him to say, I lost the battle or I lost the diss song war. I didn't expect him to say, I regret telling people what was the truth. I expected him to say, I did a lot of things that I would have probably done differently and I mishandled the whole situation. I got to say, this is a grown-up Meek, and I'm hoping this is not the interview Meek, because I love Meek Mill interviews because Meek Mill always be saying that good shit. Now, I don't know if Meek Mill always practices what he preaches. That's why he continually gets into trouble. But when you hear him speak like this, openly and candidly about everything, and he seems to be so genuine, you got to applaud him, and you got to say, man, shit, niggas is rooting for you. Hopefully, if this is your new mentality going forward, you do succeed. All right? Do you think people could ever get over him beefing with Drake? Do you think even him admitting this or saying he fucked up by how he handled it, do you think it'll ever change for Meek in the perception of the mainstream fan? Because Meek fans are still rocking with him. They rock with him through the process, but now the only question remains is that casual fan, that mainstream fan who probably already likes, say, a Drake more than him and, of course, had to choose sides during the beef, will they ever give Meek another chance? Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Akademiks. I'm up.